Morocco reaching the semifinals in 2022 wasn't a miracle. It was the result of a team with a structure, identity, and elite tactical discipline. But in 2026, the conversation changes. This is no longer the underdog story. This is a mature, upgraded, and more dangerous Morocco, now led by Mohamed Ouahbi, the coach who just won the U20 World Cup in October. My name is Alejandro Mendez, and we're going to break down how Morocco is going to be the dark horse for this 2026 World Cup. We also need to understand that the main core, it's already on the team. They still have Bono, Hakimi, Masraoui, Aguerd, Unahi, and Al-Kabi. But they still added Brahim Díaz, a top quality player from Real Madrid. This team has taken a real step forward. But now, they are 4 years older, 4 years more experienced, and coming off a cycle where every opponent already knows Morocco are tactically the most European team in Africa. They press with intention, they defend with structure, they transition with clarity, and they punish mistakes. Now, Wabi. To understand Morocco 2026, you need to understand what Wabi built in the U20s. In the last U20 World Cup, Morocco were the team that progressed the ball the most per 30 minutes of possession, more than Spain, Argentina, and Brazil. They spent the second most time in a mid block, showing balance and control, and they were one of the teams that conceded the fewest goals from a mid block. This tells us exactly what Wabi wants: a compensated team, one that knows when to press, when to drop, and how to control the rhythm. This is the tactical identity he's now applying to the senior team. We can also see how they drop also in a really good 5-4-1 or sometimes 5-3-3 when the situation started really tough against opponents. Now we're seeing the stats from the U20 World Cup. Now, in the recent friendly versus Ecuador in Spain, Morocco played a clear 4-3-3, with Bono in the goalkeeper, Hakimi, Diop, Chadi Riyad, and Masraoui in the defense, Brahim Diaz, El Aynaoui, and Rabat, and the front three was Saviri, Unahi, and Abde. The players with injuries were El Kabi and El Khannous, but the structure was completely clear. They have pressing identity. The press starts with Saibari when he plays, but the key is Aynaoui. In the African Cup, he was better than Amrabat. Everybody saw it. And he's the one who triggers pressure when the ball enters the midfield third. Unahi, even out of form, remains a unicorn. He can dribble, pass, shoot. He can play as a 10, he can play as an 8, he can play as a 9 sometimes, or even wide. He's chaotic, but in the best way. Now with the wingers, Brahim Diaz plays on the right, constantly combining with Hakimi, and Hakimi becomes an inverted midfielder just like at PSG, appearing inside, outside, and giving Brahim the perfect partner in tight spaces. The left side dynamics, Abder is pure one-on-one. He finished the season strong with Betis and remains Morocco's most dangerous dribbler. This team has numbers that back up the eye test. Mazraoui is the most defensive duels won in recent matches with Morocco. El Aynaoui is the second most defensive duels won and the player who recovered the most the ball in the opponent's half. Hakimi loses the most duels, but he's constantly isolated in high risk zones. And Massina wins the most aerial duels, with again Hakimi with the most crosses, 19 in 3 games, and Abde as the most successful dribbles. This is a team with a clear roles and clear strengths. The player that I think is going to give us the surprise, it's going to be El Khannous. El Khannous is a world-class player, but the 4-3-3 doesn't naturally fit with him. He's not a pure center midfielder. He needs to be closer if he's not on the pitch. My ideal 11 will look something like around this. It will be with Bono, Hakimi, Aguerd, Massina, Mazraoui, El Aynaoui, El Khannous, and Unahi, and up front, Abdi in the left. Now, the matchup versus Brazil is the first game in Brazil history versus Morocco. Brazil will try to dominate the ball, Morocco will try to control the rhythm, and the key will be the right side. Hakimi Brahim plus this guy on the screen, El Khannous. If Morocco survive the first 20 minutes, they can hurt Brazil in transition. This is not a team you underestimate anymore. This is a team with identity, maturity, and a coach with a proven blueprint. Morocco aren't just a fairy tale, they are the threat. Thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in next week.